God was the Son, God is the Son, but God so much more than the earth or the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. God needs us to shine its light. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Well, I think everybody did a great job on that. It's a hard song. It really is. I mean, especially if you don't know the words. I love to stand up here and sing, and my back is to the screen, though. So if I don't know the words, I gotta pretend I sort of do, and but that's okay because I don't have a microphone down there. Thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for setting the stage. I appreciate it. I love the concept of use me. I obviously have faith in the process, and part of the process is that God, through me, is experiencing life. My life, your life, all of life. God, through each of you, is experiencing life, all of life. Not just this moment, but all of it. And so when I say, use me, God, I'm saying, hey, enjoy the experience. And I have faith in that God will enjoy the experience. But I also have faith that God has faith in me, which is a new idea, see? I have faith in God, but God has faith in me. So with that, let's start talking about some things. First of all, you guys are so welcome here at Unity of Pasadena. I appreciate you so very, very much. We also have a live stream, which welcomes other people to our service who can't make it in person. So we welcome you, and if you're new on live stream, we are so happy that you're here. And if you're new here at Unity of Pasadena in person, we are just thrilled to meet you. We have a hospitality afterward, and we'd love to sit down and talk to you. We have a great hospitality. People bring food, and we talk about the service, and we talk about each other, and we share things, and it's just a great consciousness. So it's terrific. It really is. So we have a saying to begin this thing with, and I'd like you to say after me, please. There's only one thing. It may look like more than one thing. It may feel like more than one thing. But it's only one thing. Expressing as you, expressing as me, and everything we see. Yes, I think Unity of Pasadena is a divine idea in the mind of God, and we show up here to express that knowing. So thank you for being here. We also have a Unity blessing I would like you to join me in. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. And we have a statement of faith I'd like you to join me in as well. There's only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good omnipotence, and I am one with that presence and power. So let's take a moment to consciously move into that space where we're one with that presence and power. So I want you to take a nice deep breath and release it. Let's do it one more time. And release it. And so we honor the presence of Spirit right here, right now, in this very space. We welcome that presence, for that presence often shows up as love. And so we feel love right now within us. We feel love for all that is. We feel love for family, for friends, for pets, for people in our lives that we can feel love for just so very easily. But we also feel love for life itself. We honor it and we treasure it. And so when we do this, we are welcoming the presence of God into this very space right here and right now. We're so thankful that that is so. We honor this space as a sacred space. And we have sacred people who make certain that this space is open and available. We have a board of trustees that does everything necessary to make sure that this space is here, that it's open for everyone, that it says what it needs to say and does what it needs to do. And we're thankful, so thankful for their service. And we're thankful for our prayer chaplains who hold the light for everyone. Our prayer chaplains are available here after service for prayer, and they hold the light during service and all the time. Their consciousness is such that it's connected to this thing we call source, this thing we call spirit. We have musicians which bring the spiritual ideal to everything that we do here at Unity of Pasadena. We're so thankful for them. And our volunteers. And those volunteers greet you at the door, and they do the little things like the PowerPoint and the streaming and the sound and all of the things that are set up for us by volunteers. And of course, each one of you who has brought something today to the table, including yourselves, is a volunteer. And we're so grateful for you. And so with all of this gratitude, I release these words into the law of mind, knowing that everything is perfect, unfolding beautifully. And so it is. Amen. All right, so a proper introduction. I'm Reverend Greg Dorst, and there's a part of this service that is about me answering a question. And that question is one of many, which is in this basket that sort of looks like an ark, I guess, you know. And the ark is kind of an apt analogy because the ark had at least two of everything. And there might be a whole ton of questions here that we could call, the two of everything idea. But there are a ton of them in here, and I'd like you, when you have a chance, if you will, just to write something down in the form of a question. And who knows, next time you're here, perhaps I'll be answering that question from the front. So let me see if I can find one here. Green paper helps, you guys. If your paper stands out, it's like folded into some cute little animal or something, I'm likely to pick it. So here we go. And this one requires my glasses. All right. Ooh. Albert Einstein said. I love a question that starts out with Albert Einstein said. It's probably going to be an intellectual perusement. Quote, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Therefore, isn't everything we can experience with our senses once in someone's imagination? Interesting. So, one of the things about this question that's so interesting for me is that I think a lot of it is going to be answered in the talk today, which is all about creating your life through your thinking, through the way that you feel, through your actions, through your beliefs, and also through the atmosphere which exists here. And Albert Einstein calls that he just called it, let's see, he says it encircles the world. So it's kind of like a field, I would guess. So that imagination is out there in the field somewhere. And so what we do is we open ourselves up to something new that we'd like to see, and it shows up in our own imagination and becomes that which eventually shows up in form. I think that's the premise of the question, and I fully agree with that premise, that there is a connection between divine mind, which let's call it big mind, and our minds, which are individualized minds. And inside that divine mind is everything that could be, everything that ever will be, everything that ever has been, all ideas, all imagination, everything is there. We are conduits for that divine mind. And so if we allow ourselves to open up to it and receive it and allow it, it can come to us. But we spend our whole lives sort of shaping the things that we do to keep things out, to keep ideas out. We've been taught certain things that do that for us automatically by our parents, by our teachers. You know, this is the way to do things. And if this is the way to do things, then there's no space for something new. So imagination kind of suffers when we have a lot of this is the way we do things, and you can't do it any other way. But I agree with the premise. I believe that this divine mind holds all questions and all answers. So sometimes we have to ask ourselves questions, and then we have to listen to the answers before they'll come to us. I'll tell you where my answers come to me. My answers come to me when I'm doing those things which require repetition, or when I'm in the shower. Is that, yeah, I see the heads nodding. Yep. When I'm in the shower, I get a lot of answers. Well, that's because that is such a comfortable place that you've released your conscious attention on everything. In fact, sometimes you probably can't even remember where you are in the washing process, you know. Did I wash my hair? I don't remember. Anyway, you sink into subconscious mind, and that's where all answers are. That's where divine mind wells up so that we can imagine what we need to imagine. So it's a long answer, but it's a tough question. So I hope I did it adequately. How many minutes did I do? No way. Is there something I win? Do I win something? Do I get... I know. It's got to be something to eat, you know. I saw donuts back there. I win a donut. So we got music for you. What do you think, huh? Come on.
What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you.
Good morning. Today's daily word is comforted. I am comforted knowing God's presence is a blessing now and always. There are times I mourn the loss of loved ones or perhaps the loss of something I treasure. I am thankful when those around me acknowledge my loss and comfort me by expressing care and concern. It may not completely alleviate my pain, but their efforts do lift my mood, even if only for a short while. I also recognize the tender, loving presence of God that is always with and within me and enables me to persevere even in the face of loss. God's comfort is for everyone. The light, love, peace, and comfort of the divine bless all those who are feeling the pain of loss, loneliness, and grief. I pray that the love and care of God flow through me to comfort those who grieve. Sing for joy, O heaven, and exult, O earth. Break forth, O mountains, into singing. For the Lord has comforted his people and will have compassion on his suffering ones. Isaiah 49, verse 13.
Good morning. Well, I've asked some of you this, but has anybody told you they love you today? I love you. So why not tell each other before you leave today? Today's meditation is on consciousness. And this is written by Emmett Fox, and it's called Life is Consciousness. So when you hear the word consciousness, think of the word thought. I think it is well that we remind ourselves what it is that we really believe and have. The answer is that we have the key to life. We do not just approach life from a peculiar angle as other schools of healing do. We have the key to life, and that key is that life is a state of consciousness. The explanation of all your problems, explanation of all your difficulties, explanation of all your triumphs in life boil down to this: life is a state of consciousness. That is the beginning and the end. That is the final step in metaphysics. All other steps lead up to that. Unless you change your state of consciousness, nothing else change. All trouble, all disappointment, all depression, all limitation is a state of consciousness. People are trying to change outer condition, but leaving their consciousness unchanged. And it cannot be done. The only fundamental way to change things is to change your consciousness, because you always must and always will get the conditions that belong to your consciousness. When you want to solve your problems or change your life, you can see it at once that the only way is to change your consciousness. Nothing can come to you permanently. Nothing can stay with you permanently, except what you are entitled by your consciousness. Your body, your home, your city, the universe is a picture of consciousness. Your private life outpictures your own consciousness. The national life is outpicturing our national consciousness. So you see how foolish it is to try to change the outer picture without changing the inner consciousness. The way to meet a problem is to raise your consciousness. If you do, the problems disappear. In the Bible, the valleys always stand for trouble. Sin, limitation, the mount for uplifted thoughts, and prayer for understanding. We must go into the mount. We must rise our consciousness. Most people who have a problem concentrate on problem. They take it to bed with them and stay awake all night thinking over it. Let go of the problem. Rise up above it in consciousness. How can you do this? Go up quickly, in a flash if you can, but you can't always do that. You will find that by reading the Bible or some available spiritual book or Unity publication or by repeating some favorite hymn, your consciousness will rise. If a diver goes down to the bottom of the sea, he wears lead boots, but if he wants to come up to the surface quickly, he kicks those lead boots off. Then he rises rapidly. When we rise in consciousness, we kick off our shoes and then we begin to be healed. You have to heal the consciousness. The key word to consciousness lies in the Word, which Unity has been teaching. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. The first chapter of John is a reflection of the first chapter of Genesis. The Greek word logos means the great creative word. The great creative word is I am. It is the secret of life. We are given it in Deuteronomy, and Jesus identified himself with it. In the Bible, the word means any definitely formulated thought. Not just the drifting thought that flows through your mind. The word is creative, and the strongest and most creative of words is I am. When you say I am, you are calling upon the universe to do something for you, and it will do it. When you say I am, you are drawing a blank check on the universe. It will be honored and cashed sooner or later, and the proceeds will go to you. If you say, I am tired, I am sick, I am poor, I am fed up, disappointed, getting old, you are drawing a check for future trouble and limitations. When you say, I am divine life, I am divine truth, I am divine freedom, I am substance, I am eternal substance, you are drawing a check on the bank of heaven, and surely that will be checked. That check will be honored too. The I am is God's in action. God is not a man. God is working through you. You are not separated from God. God does not sit far up in the sky and send you a good idea. God is the I am, giving you a new embodiment, a new creation. Whatever you believe, you create. You are the I am. God knows himself in your consciousness, and that is knowing God. I want to emphasize this point. You build your consciousness with your I am. This was written in 1936. So now, as we go into our meditation, I have a question for you to ponder. What is your I am statement today? as you open your eyes and come back to this room. Namaste.
I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms, and if I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes the silence can seem so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve. But first I know it starts inside of me. And if I can see it, then I can be it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. 'Cause I believe in me. If I can see it, then I can be it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. If I just spread my wings, I believe I can fly. Oh, I can fly. Yes, I can fly. Yes, I can fly. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to do it. Everybody up, fly. You ready? All right, let's see how well we're doing on this class. Hey, Bill, thank you so much for bringing Emmett Fox to the table. I appreciate it. Emmett Fox is one of my heroes. I think he was the first New Thought author and writer that I was exposed to. And one of the reasons why he became one of my favorites is because he had something to do with Alcoholics Anonymous. And, you know, people here know that I'm in recovery, and I had 27 years ago to find a place that I could go to. And it probably wouldn't have been there had it not been for the wisdom of Emmett Fox, and here's how that happened. One of the founders, and there were two of them, of Alcoholics Anonymous, had a secretary whose uncle was Emmett Fox. And so when it came time to write all of the experiences that, if you're in the program, into a book form, he went to see Emmett Fox speak. And it would have been, probably even before 1936, before he even wrote that. But Emmett Fox was speaking at various places, sometimes a couple of times a day. And he learned a lot of things about how to talk about this thing called life, about how to talk about this thing called God, about consciousness, and about how you can change the way your life outpictures by changing the way you think. Because whatever is showing up in your life that you don't like, the problem centers in the mind. It centers in the mind. I mean, your thinking must be changed in order for this change to come about. Because your thinking and the feelings that are incumbent oftentimes have a lot to do with what it is you feel, do, and believe. So all of those things shape your life and become your personality as well. So thank you very, very much. Now, I was going to spend some time convincing you that your thoughts create your reality. But Bill, you did it really, really well with Emmett Fox. But Emmett Fox was not a unity minister. And not that we have to have a unity minister tell us what's up. But one that I really enjoy, and one of the reasons why I chose this topic today, which is consciousness shapes experience, is because Eric Butterworth, who I think was one of the finest speakers and writers in the unity tradition, had some ideas about this creating your world through your thoughts and beliefs. And he said these things. He said, you create your reality through your inner state of consciousness. Wow. Now that's really interesting. I love that, your inner state of consciousness. And that is something inside of you. And of course, the tradition of Christianity through the teachings of Jesus said the Father within doeth the work, you see. So, your inner reality is an important space. It's where all that creation takes place. So it's important to see that this is not a brand new concept, but it's expressed in kind of a brand new way. He says that thought is causative. What you consistently think, believe, and feel manifests in your experience. Now, there's a guy by the name of Ernest Holmes who says the same sort of thing in a little bit of a different way. He says, you create your life by the tendency of your thought, by the tendency. He doesn't say it's this thought that you just had that might be negative or might be difficult to live with. We have those kinds of thoughts. When I'm in my lower self, I can have some of those thoughts. But those may be creative, but not so much, because there's a tendency of your thought, which is kind of like an overall compilation of what you're believing and thinking, And he says that you create your life through that tendency of your thought. So if you're thinking that you had a negative thought about somebody, that they're probably going to be erased from this plane. Probably not going to happen. You may be creative, but it might be around the tendency of your thought. Which, if you're like I am, you do your affirmations in the I am and say some things that keep you away from that tendency full time. So the way that works for me, by the way, is through affirmations, through the I am process. Is before I speak, I do some affirmations, and that's in the form of prayer. And so sometimes you'll see me down here, and I'll have my head bowed a little bit so that I'm in this conscious communion with Source, and I'll say to myself, I am good, I am peace, I am love. I want to make sure that I know those things. I am good, I am peace, I am love. And then I say something that I wondered whether I should share this with you or not, but you might as well know. I say, I'm an outstanding speaker and I make a connection with people. That's what I say to myself. I'm an outstanding speaker and I make a connection with people. And that helps me to feel comfortable in front of you. That's what it does. You know, it doesn't show up in me as, gosh, I wonder what I'm going to say today. It shows up in me as quite the opposite. You know, it shows up in me as, you know, I can make this connection. I can use these ideas. I can create this communion between you and me. I can use this space in the way it feels, you know, to the advantage of the talk today, so that we all kind of get the feeling of it, you know, and sink into it. So I say those things, and those are my I ams today, Bill. Those are my I ams before I come up and speak just about every day. But I have other I ams, and I have to be careful not to, you know, put something negative behind it. I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm ugly. I am. You know, there are all sorts of things we could say about ourselves to ourselves, and we do those things. By the way, I'm not saying that I don't, but we do those things. But you got to catch it. See, you got to catch it. You got to be able to be aware of it and go, oh, that's not true. You know, pluck it out like a weed by the root. That's not true. I even visualize that, you know, boom, there it goes. Don't need that anymore. So, yeah, you know, this idea that consciousness shapes experience is really, really part of my understanding of what life is all about. And, of course, I can relate it back to, you know, all sorts of spiritual and religious ideology. You know, in the beginning was the Word. I mean, if you start that book, that's where you're going to start. In the beginning was the Word. And we're talking about God creating, you know, God creating merely through God's... In fact, I wrote something down that I really, really liked. I said this. I said, God thinks and the world comes into being. Yeah. God thinks and the world comes into being. And then we are this. Like with God, all human accomplishments originate in thought. This is the divine creative process in us. We are made in the image and likeness of God. I mean, that's ancient wisdom. I mean, people were looking around and seeing how their lives were unfolding and recognizing that it had something to do with the way they were thinking. And the interesting part about it is that our lives are all different, and so are the thoughts we have. So are the way we put them together and the depth of belief and feeling we have around them. It's all different. You know, some of us have different feelings around what it is we're thinking and saying. Some people aren't bothered by some of their negativity at all. They just keep on doing it. You know, if you're really, really aware of it, you'll see how that's unfolding in your life. And the way that might show up is that you're not satisfied with anything that you've got. You're not satisfied with anything that's in front of you. Yeah. So, yeah, there's ample opportunity to take a look at the things people have understood and written, not only from Eric Butterworth and favorites of mine in the Unity tradition like May Rowland and Ernest Wilson. In fact, I've got a quote here from Ernest Wilson because Steve likes him so much, see? Ernest Wilson was one of the early Unity writers, and he was a great speaker, too. I mean, don't you kind of say, Steve, that he's one of the greatest speakers you ever heard? And you heard him personally. Yeah, which is really incredible. So he's almost contemporary, see? Steve's bringing the consciousness of Ernest Wilson to the table every time he shows up. Yes, thank you for that, Steve. Appreciate it. So Ernest Wilson says, before God brought forth the created world, he dreamed it in his mind and heart. And this pattern of creativity reaches down to the least of us, to all of us. Every invention and discovery started with an image, urge, and prompting. And he wrote that in his book called Soul Power. Ernest was terrific. And then we have people in our tradition like May Rowland. And many of you can remember May Rowland because she was actually one of the leaders of Unity Worldwide Ministries for a long, long period of time. I mean, she was... and you know what? And I don't say that without the understanding that it was hard to be a leader of anything back then if you were a woman. And she just rose to the top, not only did what she was supposed to do, but walked into it with courage. And she said things like this. She cautioned us, but she said that she spoke the truth. She said, we can learn to change our thinking as easily as we change our clothes. We can turn from a negative thought to a positive thought as easily as we go from one room to another. She's really good at it. We can deny the negative appearance and affirm the truth. And that's in Dare to Believe. She wrote a book called Dare to Believe. She also says, we shall become what we wish to become. Do what we wish to do when our habitual thought corresponds with our desire. When our thought corresponds with our desire. And you know what? That's an interesting way of saying when our thought corresponds with our feelings. Because there's another great writer and another great speaker named Neville Goddard who says exactly that. Many of you have experience with Neville Goddard, but he says, this whole, words are creative thing is wonderful. This whole thoughts are creative thing is wonderful, but none of it is going to happen unless you have feeling behind it. None of it is going to happen unless you felt through the idea of what it's like to have it. Opening up that crucible for the experience to arrive. It's a beautiful thing. In Feeling is the Secret, Neville Goddard lays it all out, lays out what you can possibly do to change your life or to receive what it is that you'd like to receive. It's great stuff. Love it. So we got the Bible, we got Unity teachers, we have people throughout the world who have said throughout time that these things are true. Now, I like to use people in the process of determining whether or not these things are true, that have some sort of spiritual or religious significance. Now, when Buddha said something, I kind of listened to that, I listened to that. I got a big Buddha in my office because he reminds me that there's a lot of enlightenment in the things that Buddha said and did. There's a lot of good to know. And Buddha said, that's Siddhartha, by the way. Siddhartha was Buddha. He said, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded on our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. It's beautiful stuff. I mean, this is not a brand new idea, but we keep using new and different words in order to express that idea. So, I have some new and different words to express ideas, and that for me is one of the most important parts of what I do, is I come up with some new ideas, maybe the next level experience for you to understand and to feel your way through, because I'm always doing that myself. But, when Bill started talking about the I am, I thought, I better talk about this a little bit, because this is a beautiful awakening to something that we fully believe here in Unity, that is God as all. So when I say I am, and the great I am is in me, within me, that it is that which God is and creates through me, I'm talking about this face of God, which is me. The first face of God is me, or you. Each of you sitting here today can recognize that you are a person that has this interior designed to bring about what it is you think about, what it is you feel, what it is you know, what it is you believe. I mean, that's what it's designed to do. So really, that's God in you as you is the first face of God. The second face of God, and we've talked about this before, but not in such a truncated way. The second face of God is God as other, outside of you. And sometimes we see that in other types of churches that still believe that God looks like a larger-than-life white man with flowing gray hair. I mean, the Sistine Chapel kind of, ingrained that in the way that we feel about it, God as outside of us, and so we beseech God, do this, please. I mean, am I good enough, God, for you to be able to help me in this regard at this time? And we have the feeling that there's something out there that's doing this for us rather than through us, as us. That's the second person. That's the second face of God. The third face of God is God as all that is. God as it. God as the sum and total of everything that you see and the power behind it. And it's oftentimes defined as panentheism. And you could look that word up if you want, and it'll tell you a little bit about how that allows us to say with an assurity that there's something about this oneness thing that we should pay attention to. That we're all from the same source, and God simply makes things out of itself. And God simply makes things out of itself because God loves you. And that's what Richard Rohr says. Richard Rohr is a Catholic, but he's attuned to this whole feel that this third face of God is truly the way it is. God as all things. God simply makes things out of itself. And how does it do it? According to our thought, according to our belief, according to our feeling behind it. Yeah, that's how we do it in our individual lives. It's why it's so important to know this. So this third face of God is really fantastic. It really talks about what it is that we believe. Now, this third face of God also sort of includes within it as subsets the I am nature of myself and the other out here as God, because you can't have an all that is without everything in it. But does it really contain everything? Well, I don't know. See, that's why I'm going to talk about what it is I'm going to talk about. Because I think there's a fourth face of God. And you're not going to find this anywhere. I haven't Googled it yet to see whether or not anybody's talked about this, but I think there's a fourth face of God. And I think it operates like this. So I can't tell you how many times a person has walked through this door and sat in this room and said, there is a feeling here. There is something in here. Something in the air. There is something that's been created here, something that resides here. There is a field of energy, of communication, of love, of caring. There's a field of something here that I can feel. Anybody had that feeling here? Oh man, this is why I come back. This is why I just love being here. And I love to stand right under that light there, where the ceiling just allows your voice to echo, and you can do an om, just takes you into the space. There is a feeling here, and you cannot deny it. You can't. We went to a retreat this last weekend up in the high desert, which was absolutely magnificent. There were 36 people there, all with their minds stayed on something spiritual and divine, knowing that divine right action was going to unfold through them as them, collectively and individually. And you know what happened? It did. It did. And in that space and in that connection with all of those people, something new was born. Something new could be recognized. There was a field that was developed. Are you guys catching what I'm saying? That field is creative. It guides the way you feel when you're in it. It guides you. There's something about that field. If you have a group of people that meet, I don't know, a mastermind group or a group of ladies or men or both, all the time, there's a field that's created. You walk into that space and you feel it. You can feel it. Created by them as individuals and the space that they reside in. I mean, this is something that is truly powerful, this field. I wrote something about this. Jackie and I talk about this kind of thing. I sometimes I sit down and I go, Jackie, I need you to tell me whether or not I'm crazy. Seriously. And she listened to this and she said, no, oh God, no, you're not crazy. No, you are not crazy, because this is it. And for you to be able to call it a fourth face of God, which was brought about by Jackie, because it could be called a fourth person seeing, but it's like fourth face of God is what it really, really is. And so here goes. Perceiving from the collective body is the fourth face of God. It's not an out-of-body experience, but more of a communion with an intelligence in the field created by the gathering. It can be beyond words, but you feel it. It's warmth, connection, love, security, creativity. It is something that you are drawn to, and it is drawn to you. I've heard the question asked, and I admit that it sounds a bit woo-woo. What wants to emerge here? What wants to emerge here? I see it now as an invitation, something made manifest by allowing the field to operate through you in a creative fashion. There is a fourth face in the room. There is a fourth face in this room. And it's that field that, oh my God, it's something that you can't even really describe. I remember Bonnie Simons would talk to me after service all the time, and it wasn't necessarily about the talk, it was about the feel that she had in this room. And she was a very feeling person. She could feel everything, just skin deep. Beyond my perception of myself, you and the group is a field that enlightens me, informs me, and perhaps guides me. I have to be aware of this. I know it's why I'm here. See, if once I know this is there, I can be much more aware of what it is I'm doing and why I was drawn to this space, why I was drawn to you, why I was drawn to you, why I was drawn to you, each of you, and the teaching itself that Unity and New Thought provides, which is like a magnet. It's really, really great stuff. So, once you're aware of it, you see it all over the place. You can see it and feel it when you're in the sound bath with Basha, Something is happening in there. A field is created, and you're receiving it. Everybody here who does Reiki understands that principle. I know you do. There's something that we have done in the past that I absolutely treasure and love. And I'm going to tell you about this experience briefly before I do the final thing here. When we were first introduced to New Thought and to retreats, we went to a place called Asilomar up in Northern California. And it was a meeting of not just ministers, but people who are musicians and congregants at various churches and centers. And this group, probably 1,000 strong that morning, decided to do what was known as chamber prayer, and Jackie and I did not know what that was. We had no idea what it was. And it was done in a place called Merrill Hall, which is it's an old space that has a beautiful feel to it. I mean, it not only feels spiritual, but you can feel the architect's love. You truly can. And we were asked to do chamber prayer. We didn't know what it was, but we learned very quickly that everybody stood up and started praying their own prayer. Not a prayer that everybody knows, not a prayer that was up on the screen, not a prayer that they were handed a piece of paper for, but their own prayer. And it sounded like, the 1,000 voices that it was, talking, saying different things, feeling different things, emoting different things. It became a cacophony of people just spewing love and goodness and peace and beauty through their prayer process. I mean, you can imagine being there right now. I'm sure you can. That chamber prayer created an atmosphere which was creative in nature. It created one of the most amazing experiences that we have ever had. We take it with us today. Oftentimes when we work with people who need healing, we will engage in chamber prayer, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or maybe just 2. We engage in chamber prayer. We know we're going to create a field. We know we're going to create a field of love. You know who else knew that? The person that knew that was Jesus. And Jesus said, wherever 2 or more are gathered, there I will be in the midst. Do you know what he was telling us? He was telling us that he is the field. That he's the field, you see? That consciousness that creates that magnificent feeling and more. Things that are beyond words. He is that. Wherever 2 or more are gathered, there I am. He's calling himself the field. That's what I call a mystical truth, you guys. I stood up here and talked about mystical truth, how it was my favorite stuff, When I realized that mystical truth, it was like I was shot in the heart with something unbelievably powerful. I mean, that's something I've never heard before, but I know it's true. I absolutely know it's true. Not a bone in my body says it's not. This stuff is so powerful. So you guys, I've gone ahead and done it. We've gone ahead and done it. We've added another face to God. You know? What do you think about that? All right. You know, I think God has an infinite number of faces. We just don't recognize it all the time, you know? So I got to tell you guys, there's a place in my heart that really resonates when I say this, and I know it does with you too. But the God in me recognizes the God in you. Namaste. Thank you. Oh. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Awesome. Well, we got Millie Ann to bring on more awesomeness. Come on down. You know, Millie, my mother was named Millie. Yeah, there's a special place in my heart for you because of that. But her birthday was May 18th. So now your birthday wouldn't happen to be May 18th, would it? Because if it was, I'd call you Mom. Seriously, I mean, there'd be that much there. So. Your Honor, thank you. We have people that have been watching. So we got Audrey Owens. Audrey, it's so good to know you're here. I knew you were here. I could feel it. We got Virginia Hutchins Carroll. We got Colleen, all the way from Illinois. Yay, Colleen. Gosh, we miss you. We got Gay. Gay's at home today watching. Gay. Yes, I'll send you the quotes. We got a Julio on board, too. Julio, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo está, señor? We got Charles the Turk. And Charles the Turk is in Michigan. Thank you, Charles, for being here. We really, really appreciate it. So, yeah, and I know there are more. They'll show up later on down the road. So, all right, you guys, we have a way of letting the world know and letting one another know and letting our own hearts know that we care about something, and that's through our community giving. And so that's what we do. You know, if something really has a powerful presence in the community, we support it. If something has a powerful presence in our lives, we support it. And so we do it. And this is what we say before we engage in our community giving. God is the source of my overflowing supply, and I am grateful. And so it is. Thank you.
Unwritten, can't read my mind, I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned, staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else, feel the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. Yeah. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the lines. Oh yeah. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Staring at the blank page before you. Open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else, you speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. The rest is still unwritten.
That takes me deep. Come on up, Millian. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pray over these tithes and treasures. And we're going to do this because we are who we say we are. So we seal this. And I know that we use these tithes and treasures with integrity, that we utilize it for the conscious growth of Unity of Pasadena and the surrounding community, that we bring a message of love, that we bring a consciousness of hope and caring and feeling and giving and peace and beauty. And all of this moves us forward as we know that you can move forward. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs can align with a consciousness of moving forward, and so we seal it right now with this. With great thanksgiving in our hearts, I release it, I let it go, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. All right, you guys. Barbara, come on up. Barbara's our board president, by the way. And we are so grateful for that. So grateful.
Thank you, Greg, as we are grateful for you and every single individual in this room today who are all part of the creation that was reflected in the song that Felice just performed. The best is still unwritten, so is our best. And our vision and mission and core values speak to that. So let's affirm them together, beginning with the vision. Envisioning a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, which is transforming lives by living and sharing our inner truth of divine wisdom, compassion, and love, using practical spiritual principles. And our core values, which are creating community, living love, teaching truth, and serving spirit. And serving both our spirit and our bodies today is Team S through Z with hospitality. And next week, again, another month is here upon us. First week of June, we know Team A, B, and C will be leading the hospitality and in serving and in helping to clean up. Of course, every team is always welcomes any helping hands they can get. So, again, thanks everyone who's on a hospitality team. Today, even though it's the fourth Sunday of the month, the bereavement group will meet because Jackie and Greg were gone last week, and also because just this month we do not have the sound baths this fourth Sunday, but Panoko and Basha will be back next month. And ongoing, every Tuesday, unless we've got something that interrupts it, is Michelle's Easy Stretch class from 10:30 to 11:30 every Tuesday morning, just $10 contribution. And everybody I've heard from says it's a lot of fun. I might even try to make it this week. I'll find out for myself. And also being the first Sunday of June next month, there will be tea time with a prayer chaplain, and I forgot who's going to be leading it. Anybody know? Oh well, it'll be wonderful. Come and find out. Maybe we'll keep it a mystery this month. Who knows? Okay, and the prayer chaplains also, as you know, every Thursday evening have a wonderful contemplative prayer and meditation time, approximately 5:45 to 6:45. And let's see. Oh, yes, and we've got a new group coming up. Is that thing stuck, Sandy? Just checking. Okay. All right. Remember I told you 2 weeks ago, new technology, a new version of PowerPoint, and for some reason, even though when I Googled it on the internet, it said it's something to do with the conflict between, malware detection and this newest version. So sometimes it just chooses to freeze up. So I'll just keep on talking without it. Anyway, we have coming up on June the 14th a new group meeting, and it's from 10 to 12. Now, Kara, let's see if I've got this right. But anyway, again, Kara, who did the Balanced Being group, she's going to be facilitating these 6-week meetings. The focus is on the divine energy as expressed through goddesses and those archetypes. And she initially created it specifically for women, so the women could recognize, the aspects of God in the feminine. Not just in, as Greg had mentioned, the traditional, God, man. So anyway, however, it's kind of evolved. Some people have said, well, I want to know a little bit about this too, even though they were men. So Kara has opened it up. Everybody's welcome, even though it's focused on the needs of women. We all have some amount of both in us, right? And so, welcome everybody. And remember, it's the 14th, and it'll be every second Tuesday. Anything else to add, Kara? Got it? Okay, all right. Thank you so very much for putting it together. I mean, we're all looking forward to it. The first one is on Mother Mary. So that's always of an interest to everyone. Okay, what else is happening? Well, you weren't embarrassed today when you drove in the driveway and looked over at the yard, were you? The weeds were all gone. The lawn was mowed. And anyway, so I want to thank Amanda for finding a person to do that for us at a rather reasonable price. She stayed with them all day on last Monday, making sure, that they did it. They got it done, and now we don't yet have an ongoing landscaping. This occurred because we lost our landscaper, okay? And we're in the process of getting another one, and so things will continue to look tidy and green, hopefully. Okay, one more thing on the schedule that I forgot to put into the slides, and that is Sunday, June the 8th, is Pentecost in the traditional Christian church, and the day we choose to do the white stone ceremony. So we will be doing white stone on January the 8th. And there'll be a little bit about it in the upcoming bulletin. Okay, now, at least for me, the next thing is a big thing, okay? Greg was talking about, the energy that is here. And a lot of that energy, I think almost every one of us has said, because when we walk in here, we also see this beautiful atrium. Well, we have beautiful birds. See the big birds and the small birds all flying around this morning? Well, we also got other little critters, and they're called termites. And they've been around here for a long time. So, we have fed them long enough. So it's time for them to go. And their exit date is Monday, June the 30th. So this place will be tented for several days. And there will undoubtedly be some collateral damage to the atrium. However, we have a month to plan for something brand new. And to give consideration to the fact that, like the several of the people who came out and gave us estimates said, yes, your atrium is really lovely, and it's nice and damp and good for tropical plants, and that screening that you've got on the top to keep off the sun just makes a perfect home for termites. So, we've got a group who's going to look at all of these things. But it won't be bare when you come back, on the first Sunday in July. There'll be something there, but it will continue to get better from that point on. So another form of transformation and change here. Again, hopefully it'll be even better than before. So with that, I turn it over to you, Greg.
Yes, and so we're going to be knowing that. We're going to be knowing that it's part of the greater yet to be. And believe me, I know that it enhances everything that I do here in University of Pasadena. So we're going to make sure it's really, really nice. It is a part of who we are and what we share on Sundays, and I know that. So we're going to make it happen. Thank you. So we have a couple of things we need to do. The first thing is we're going to stand for the Silent Unity Prayer for Protection. And then we're going to sing a song together. Which song are we going to sing today? Oh, the peace song today. All right. So, are you ready? All right. Silent Unity Prayer for Protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine, and all is well.